Hey everyone, my name is Max Taylor. I'm an account manager over here at NuORDER. Today I'll be leading you through the Wednesday webinar. And our focus is going to be on taking prospect leads, whether they're from NuORDER's marketplace or other lead generation, and how you can actually use NuORDER as a tool to reach out, engage, and ideally convert these into ongoing relationships with retailers once they're introduced to NuORDER to also become self-sufficient on. So there's a couple items I'm going to walk you guys through, and a lot of it may be familiar for those of you out there that are currently working with me, as a lot of these are my favorite best practices to walk brands through, particularly when they first sign up with us on NuORDER. Now, before I do a deep dive into some of the specific functions, I wanted to just point out some good ways just to gear people and start gaining more traffic towards your NuORDER portal in the first place. Now, for an example, I just wanted to show an example of a branded URL page. In this instance, this is Diff Eyewear, an awesome sunglass brand that I currently work with. But just to give you an idea of ways that you can start funneling traffic of prospect accounts in your direction, if you do have a wholesale inquiries page on your e-commerce, for instance, it's a perfect example. Often I see a lot of brands will have some generic, fill out information, they can vet them and so forth. But ideally, you want to get them into NuORDER so they can start shopping. And even if they are prospect accounts, it's a great way for them just to start getting a taste of what's available and what they can, potentially purchase from you. So if your e-commerce site can redirect to your URL, and believe me, if you are a NuORDER brand, you do in fact have a URL. So if you're not positive what it currently is for you, odds are you probably signed in once. And for instance, with Chrome, it's saved your password forever. You probably never see this page. So if you're not positive, just check in with your account manager and they'll confirm exactly what your branded URL page is. Now, it's sleek too, right? And if they've never done business with you, they can click to request access on the bottom right-hand corner and then fill out, again, the common information that you'd want, right? The name, the retailer store, the email address, contact information, and also what a nice personal message they can send you as well as to, hey, I'd like to do business. Here's how you can reach me. I look forward to hearing back from you, right? And then once they send their request, that allows you to vet them. Now, do you know this has to be enabled? So if you don't currently have that set up, again, you can just check with your account manager and they'll be happy to set you up with it. Now, once we're in NuORDER, like I said, this isn't restricted to only contacts of existing retailers. Again, as NuORDER really shifts towards a lead generation model, or more a way to work with existing retailers, but also attract prospecting new accounts, a great feature that really feeds into this well is the contact group functionality. So if you're not familiar, you can just simply go into the navigations tab. Right within campaigns, the drop down, I can go into contact groups, right? So what I'm going to do is create a fixed group. Now, a fixed group allows me to essentially cherry pick and segment out my retailers however I want to. The point being, they don't necessarily share any type of commonality, which would be the case with a smart group, right? For instance, if they're based out of California, something that's uniform. Meanwhile, a fixed group can be anything I want. So let's say, for instance, I just left a trade show. I gained maybe 15 leads, right? I have their contact information, at the very least an email. What you can do is first go in and add those contacts within the contacts tab one by one, or you can do it all in bulk quickly from your company and buyer data. Again, if that is a section you're not sure about, how to load buyers in bulk, feel free to reach out to our Heroes team. You can always talk to them live via intercom. That is during regular support hours, specific time. And of course, you can also reach out to Heroes, HEROES, at heroes.com, or call into the Heroes support line. Now, continuing here, right, with that anecdote I was laying out, let's say you have 15 leads that you generated at a trade show. What I can do now, let's say, I'm going to go in and plug them all in here. Now, for this example, I only have myself as a fake contact, so I'm just going to plug in myself, but you get the idea, right? So let's say you met with me, Max's Epic Factory Outlet Boutique, at a trade show. Now you want to convert this into, an ongoing relationship, right? So what I could do is, let's say, trade show prospects, right? So now what I can do, let's say I want to create a custom list that's going to be geared towards prospect accounts. So I really want to get their attention, right? I'm going to incentivize them somehow. So let's just assume then I'm going to make a new custom list. So I'm going to kick it off by doing create new lists. Let's say trade show prospects incentives, right? So let's do submit. So now I am going to work off of this list, right? Created, yep, add. So it's added to that, right? And it's going to highlight every item that I've added to this list. So again, I really want to make a great impression, keep the conversation going. So now what I can do is either just click into the list itself, or you'll always be able to reference it by going to the custom list tab. And there it is, trade show prospects incentives. So what I'm going to do is send this out now, right? So what's great about this is I can click to send. And now the great thing about the contact groups is I can pull them right into the contacts tab here. So now if I type in trade show prospects, it shows up instantaneously. And like I said, you want to really focus on grabbing their attention, right? So let's do first time purchase. How about 25% off? So again, I've isolated those prospects I just took from that trade show, right? And now within here, message for recipient, assuming, if this is going to 15 prospects, might make it a little more generic, right? Great running into you. We love to continue the conversation, whatever. But of course, you could do one-offs as well. I could send this to maybe one or two prospects. Maybe you're breaking them down based on regional or boutiques, maybe the location as well. There's a lot of different ways that you can spin this, right? So again, look forward to working with you. Something along those lines. Now, to take it one step further, and I think a lot of people don't really utilize it as much as they could, is within the expiration date. Maybe you want to build some time-sensitive incentive as well, right? So say, hey, I know I offered you 25% off. It's only going to be for the next 2 days, right? So you can give them a 48-hour window. So you can set an expiration date so that way they really have to take advantage of it. And it just helps build that impulse, particularly if you're trying to hit a deadline, right, for your monthly quota. So again, feel free to mess around with an expiration date to build that in as a selling tool. And then now what I can do is create a campaign for this. So the great thing is I can do trade show prospects, right? And so now I can just blast this out. If I go back in the navigations tab, go to campaigns, view campaigns. So this is what I just created, right? First time purchase, 25% off. So now I have the quantitative metrics to actually track the engagement of all these prospects, right? I'm going to be able to identify who hasn't opened this list yet, who has opened it. And really crucial to be able to distinguish, not only did they open it, but did they click into it? So really those are different levels of gauging interest, right? So this is ideal because now you have your low-hanging fruit, right? Maybe, again, let's assume that 48-hour 25% off discounts. For those that haven't opened it yet, you have a reason to reach out to them, a conversation starter, say, hey, it's one of you have any questions, right? And then you have the opposite as well, those that have clicked in but may not purchased yet. So both of those give you, again, a conversation starter and somewhere to take that to add them into NuORDER and hopefully, continue to become self-sufficient retailers on their own, and then continue that with a NuORDER. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have also seen the new release of the online trade show. So if you haven't made updates to that yet, I would definitely recommend it because the new UI is going to be live very shortly. So I definitely recommend, if you haven't gone into it yet, check your inbox as soon as possible. It's really quick, and the Heroes team is happy to work with you just to make sure that the online trade show profile for your brand is up to date. And then you'll be able to soon start shopping, prospecting rather, potential retailers and vice versa within NuORDER's online trade show feature. So that's about it for me today. Just walking you guys through just some ways you can start using NuORDER as a hybrid for prospecting new accounts. And like I said, you can use them from tons of different ways of lead generation beyond just trade shows, right? So feel free to funnel them into NuORDER, and again, use them to your advantage because this is a great selling tool for you. As always, my name is Max Taylor. It was a pleasure walking you through today's Wednesday webinar. And again, feel free to reach out to Heroes if you do have any questions.